So we have been hearing from so many parents and from so many students, all of whom, as we mentioned earlier, they all got their own very individual stories, all unified by this horrible common experience.
Yeah, we want to go to our Rod Maloney. He has the story of one very special parapro that's emerging from Oxford tonight. Rod is live in the newsroom there, as you can see, with that part of the story, Rod.
Yeah, Kimberly, let's try and set this up for you. In the hallway there is where the shooting happened. On the other side of that wall was a special needs class. Now, my friend Rob Guzanik's child is in that class. 16 special needs students, transition center really, children older than 18 years old and up. His daughter was 25. They're there and the shots ring out. Now, one of the paraprofessionals in that room, there were two in the room with the teacher and the 16 students. That teacher, that paraprofessional's first day at this school, I am told, was today. They're in there. They hear the shots go. They lock down the room. They are in there for quite some time. And as the police come in and settle down the scene, make the arrest, and go in and start making sure that there are no other people, they get told, the class, the parapros, the teacher, and the students are told that they can now leave. In fact, they weren't asked to leave. They were essentially told they had to go. Inside that classroom was a child in a wheelchair. And so this is before anybody knows much of what is going to transpire or where they should go or muster. So they take this class out of the classroom, go straight out the door, and they start wheeling this child in the wheelchair. And as I understand it, they had to try and get to the mire. But to get to the mire, they had to go out the sidewalk, go out the parking lot, across inches of snow in the grass, through some woods, down into an apartment complex or a subdivision, not quite sure which. These people are quite literally wheeling this wheelchair with this child in it all the way down that hill and then over to the Myers store to safety. And to say that that was an emotional scene, I think would be an understatement. And, you know, of course, people are, going out without coats. It's very cold, very uncomfortable. Nobody knows what to do. They're traumatized because they did hear all of the shots that were fired that day. Yeah. And so this paraprofessional had a very difficult welcome into that school. And Rob told me that it was a heroic effort to get all of these kids out to safety and through all of that, the mud, the mire, the snow, and all the rest of it in the cold, to make sure that everybody got out safely.
With a wheelchair.
Yeah, and he was impressed, to say the least, as we all should be.
And Rod, it's only in hindsight that we know that they were able to apprehend a suspect in this case in such short order, in 5 minutes. The people who were trying to get out of the school and race maybe for their lives had no idea. So the panic and the terror that was filling them as they were trying to get to the Meijer parking lot had to be extraordinary.
Yeah, and as best we can tell, the police were essentially saying, get out, but they didn't want to go. The police said, you must go. And remember, there's only that one way in and one way out. And so they're taking this wheelchair out. The scene must have just been just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, that parapro is certainly a hero tonight. And thankfully, they also train for this kind of thing, something that we don't like to hear, but in situations where you need it, fortunately, they know what to do.
And Rod, it's interesting because you were talking to your friend through all this, a lot of it in real time.
Right.
This is, I don't want to quote the governor again, but it's just as horrible as it gets for a parent.
Well, and can you imagine, you're the parent of a special needs child, I mean, parent of any child, right? But
sure.
But his child, may not have the understanding of what to do and when to do it and how to do it.
Right.
And so he goes straight to the school, can't get there, and then goes and finds a group of about 15 kids who had run away from the school, and they're going in between cars and a home, trying to stay warm, contact mom and dad before they can finally get picked up a few blocks away from the school.
So right, Rod, I have no doubt that we are going to hear about a lot of people who acted quite heroically today during when the chaos was setting in. All right, Rod.